Hello everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome back to another video over here on That's Comical, and if you're watching and it happens to be a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. Well, 2025 is in full swing, excuse the pun, as well as the MCU on the big screen and on the small screen. We just got the latest MCU film in Captain America: Brave New World, and we just got our very first MCU television installment over on Disney+, and that, of course, is an animated series. It is a brand new animated series called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Unlike X-Men 97, this was a show that I was not really the most excited about. Didn't really know too much about it, didn't really understand what it was going to be, wasn't sure if it was part of the MCU main storyline or not, but because of the fact that I get together with my friend Gabby every single year at the beginning of each year to discuss the past year's MCU offerings, I had to sit down and watch this, and I will also say that we're getting a lot of MCU television this year, and there's very little of it that I'm actually excited about, but I do need to still watch them, and I will hope that every offering is a good one. So, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is not part of the main MCU 616. This is a different version of Spider-Man, even though there are a lot of elements that reference events that take place in the MCU. There's a lot of things that happen in the main MCU universe that did not happen in this show. They mentioned the Sokovia Accords, but there was no big fight between the Avengers at the airport in Germany. Peter Parker was not found by Tony Stark. Rather, he is actually found by this universe's version of Norman Osborn. So I will say, in regards to anything Marvel, it is nice to finally see the Osborn family back in a Spider-Man story. However, there's definitely a lot of controversy around this show because of a lot of race swapping and a little bit of gender swapping. Was it something that I am angry about? I don't think that angry is the right word, but to me, as someone who reads a lot of Spider-Man comic books, knows the history, knows the characters, I just will always say that I don't think that race swapping and gender swapping is the right way to go in anything. It's much better to introduce a new character that is of a different race or ethnicity or gender, and I'm pretty sure that they will be loved. Because when you take a look at the laundry list of characters that have been created to fill those types of boxes, they've all been loved because they are original creations and not new takes on characters that have now going on 60 plus years of lore. So, no, I was not the happiest to see that Norman and Harry are now black. I have to admit it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not going to say that the show should burn in the pits of hell because of that. I will say that there is a lot of intrigue to this show. I think the animation is probably one of the most unique because I love how it really tries to capture that Lee and Ditko 60s essence, the great comic book shading. I really like that. And it's also really nice to see new characters and see how they evolve, like Peter's friend Nico, as well as Lonnie, who eventually is going to become the pale white zombie Tombstone. I'm curious to know if they're actually going to do that. We also saw very interesting versions of characters that are very familiar to us, like Scorpion. It was really cool to see a character like Scorpion. The show did start off a little bland and a little boring because we really didn't get much Spider-Man, and I'm also really glad that they did evolve the costume as the first season progressed because, I'm sorry, I don't know how you can be Spider-Man in the original costume that was in this show. Just because of all the stuff that he had to carry, it was crazy. But I loved the fact that at the end we ended up getting the classic red and blue web suit. I loved it. Also liked the one in between because it was sort of a homage to something that happened in the Spider-Man comics very, very recently. But I will definitely say that I didn't leave the show dissatisfied. I left the show with a little intrigue and curiosity, just because of the fact that I'm curious to see what we're going to get in the second season, because the reviews whether they were from the critics or whether they were from the fans, were not the highest praiseworthy. They were relatively positive, but not like excellent, outstanding, or magnificent scores, or dare I say, amazing. Rather, they were okay. They were good. And yet the show still got renewed for not just one season, but 2 new seasons. And we've already been teased that Gwen Stacy is going to be in the 2nd season, and she is going to don the persona of Ghost Spider, aka Spider-Gwen. So, fans of the Spider-Verse films, I'm sure you guys are going to be excited to see her in this cartoon. I also really like the theme song. I like that they took the old 60s theme song and tried to turn it into something new and fresh, and yet still keep the essence. But there's a lot of comic book style in this story. The way the dialogue is, the way the action is, and I did appreciate that. As always with any new show, you gotta start somewhere. I'm pretty sure that now that there's going to be 2 more seasons, they're gonna learn from mistakes and learn from their shortcomings and try and give us a very strong 2nd season. And I'm gonna watch it. Again, I don't really know where I fall. I'm definitely on the positive side after seeing the 1st season, because the last couple of episodes were very much enjoyable and action-packed. Also loved the fact that there were some big surprises like Daredevil showing up. Loved the fact that Daredevil was on the show, as well as Amadeus Cho. I'd like to see what they're going to do with him. If you're a comic book fan, you know who that character is. But I'd like to see more heroes. I'd like to see more villains, because if they try to really turn it into a brand new style of the classic Spider-Man animated series from the 1990s, that would be a really nice tribute, and I think fans old and new would appreciate it. So I would say give this one a shot. You might hate it, you might like it, I don't know. But I left it satisfied somewhat, and I'm going to watch Season 2. I will. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Leave your comments in the box below. Let me know your thoughts on your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 1, and I will see you in the next one.